Hi, Paul. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Hey, Win, can you hear me?
I can.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Oh, good, 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 good. Well, thank you for the opportunity to come on your podcast. I truly appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. So, Paul, how this is going to work is I'm going to say welcome to Ask Gwen, and then I'm going to introduce you, and then I'm going to let you share your story, and then I'm going to ask you a couple baseline questions, and then I'm going to have you ask me a couple questions if you choose to do so.
Sounds good. I have a couple questions to ask you, so I'm ready to do that.
Welcome to Ask Gwen, everyone. I have Paul with me, so I'm going to let Paul take it away and share his story.
Well, thank you, Win. I am so happy to be on the podcast and happy to share my story with you because we have similar stories. Matter of fact. I was born with something called cerebral palsy. And if your audience doesn't know, but I'm sure your audience does know if you listen to Win,
They
it
do know by now.
yeah,
They know by now, otherwise they would be living on a rock.
exactly. So basically, the cerebral palsy that I suffer from uh, affects the right side of my body. And when I was born, the doctors thought it was so severe that I would never be able to walk. And thank goodness for a great mom. She just didn't take that diagnosis and go with it. She got a third, fourth, fifth opinion. Finally, found somebody that was willing to help me, and that's my journey began with physical therapy, pretty much 5 days a week. And I was able to defy the doctor by being able to walk when I was about 3. I don't really remember that, but that was what was told by my mom, that I was able to walk at 3. But I do remember being put into soccer around 5 or 6, and I was only able to run about 25 to 50 yards, where these other kids are running laps. And I felt so defeated that I couldn't just be one of these other kids, and wanting to quit, because I just felt out of place. And my mom said, if you don't want to play soccer anymore, that's fine, but you have an obligation. You signed up for the season, so you have to finish out the season. And after that, if you don't want to play soccer anymore, that's your prerogative. So I finished out the season, but I got my second break around 7 years old. I got a operation on my right foot to tighten the tendons, to give me a little bit more spring in my step. And I didn't test it out yet, but I switched schools around that same time. And I remember the first day of PE, physical education, we were doing our stretches, and the teacher said, okay, now guys, run a lap. And I'm thinking to myself, here we go again. Everybody's going to see that I can only run 25 to 50 yards, and these other kids are running, are going to be able to run the full lap. But things were different because of my operation. The point where I normally stop, I was able to keep going. And I was telling myself, come on, Paul, you got this, bud. Keep going. And I finished the lap with the other kids. And on the outside, I kept it cool. But on the inside, I was like, yes, yes, yes. Finally, the first time in my life that I just fit in with the other kids, I didn't stand out. And I would say that things did get easier for me at that point, but I wouldn't consider them easy. I switched schools again when I was in junior high. And being a new kid in junior high with no disability is hard. But being a new kid and having a disability, that just made it even tougher, because I still walk with a little bit of a limp. I still held my right arm a little bit differently than the other kids. So, I mean, I was brutally teased pretty much every single day. And I remember going in my room crying, going, why me? Why do I have to be different? And around that same time, I had to take, I was raised Catholic, and my mom wanted me to go to a Catholic high school. And I had to take an assessment test to see where I was at, to see where they were going to place me in high school. And apparently I didn't do well on the test. and the principal talked to me and my mom and said, he's going to be at the lowest level of education, and don't expect too much out of him. He's not college material. So I had a principal telling me that I wasn't college material. I had kids that just brutally teased me. My mind was just, I wanted to explode, right? So I was sick and tired. I don't know when this happened, but it was around mid 8th grade. I was sick and tired of all this negativity towards me. I was sick of it. And I was sick of being angry, and I was sick of being sad. And I thought to myself, what could I do to prevent myself from feeling these feelings anymore? So I thought to myself, what if I set a goal for myself to kind of distract me from all these bad feelings? So at the time, I really loved baseball. So I said, what if I tried to make my varsity baseball team in high school? So from then on out, I played spring ball, winter ball, fall ball. And if I wasn't doing that, I was throwing a tennis ball against the wall. I was doing that every single day. And the great thing about this was when I was going through this journey, I didn't know this, but I was holding my shoulders back. I was keeping my head higher. My confidence was changing. I was feeling more self-worth about myself. And because of that, I was sending out a different energy to everybody else. And instead of them bullying and picking on me, they picked up on this great energy. They started rooting for me to make the varsity baseball team. And I'm happy to say I was able to make the varsity baseball team as a junior and a senior. And then I didn't have good grades because I always thought about what the principal said. I'm not college material. So I thought, well, why bother? Why try hard in school? Because I'm not supposed to go to college. But then when I finished the school, I had this euphoria feeling of why not? I had this feeling of why not? Why can't I do these things? So my mind shifted, and I said, you know what? I am college material. This principal doesn't know who me. So then I went to a junior college for 2 years, or 3 years actually, and I went from a 2.0 student to 3.5 student. And for me, 3.5 was just to the Rockets. And I transferred to Cal State Fullerton, got a degree from Cal State Fullerton, and I really wanted to go back to the principal and say, see, you didn't know me, but I thought, no, the reward was that she motivated me to become a college graduate. So I said, let's move on. And now I'm a 22, 23-year-old kid, have no life experience, don't know what I want to do. I got into, I had a family friend that was in the mortgage industry, was much older than me. He said, why don't you try that? So I said, okay, I'll try it. Really enjoyed it for many, many years. Then 2008, 2009 hit, and the economy just changed.
Yeah.
And they started to put these restrictions on us, where you had to say your mortgage license number every time you talk to a new client. And if you didn't do that, you can get in trouble. So instead of really diving in and really listening to what the client wanted, I was worried about not getting fired, going, did I say my mortgage license number? Did I say that? Did I say that? Not even worrying what the client's needs were anymore. So I was really losing the luster of the industry. And about 6 years ago, a motivational speaker came to talk to our sales team, and he blew me away. He was so awesome. So I made a point to talk to him after the show and say, wow, that was so great. And he was so gracious, and he told me what he did. And he also told me he started as a life coach. And I'm like, life coach? What is that? And he explained that to me, and like, maybe that's what I want to do. So I got my coaching certificate. I started putting it out in the universe that I want to be a coach. And I was doing kind of both mortgage and coaching. And then I made the transition that I just want to be a coach. And now I made that transition, and now I'm talking to you here on the podcast.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So, Paul, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book is by Angela Whitworth. It's called Grit.
Isn't that interesting? Because you're the first one that said it to me on this podcast. You are the first one that said it to me on this podcast. So Grit is your favorite book. And if you had to move and only take 5 things with you, what would they be?
I would definitely take my pictures. I would definitely take my sports memorabilia, my lucky pillow. I would take my family with me, and I would take my family dog.
Well, isn't that amazing? That and what I was trying to explain to my fan base earlier is people with cerebral palsy could have able-bodied kids.
Yes, that is true.
And people are amazed when they hear me say that people with CP could have able-bodied kids. And it's amazing to think that because CP, as you guys know, I think I told you guys this before, is not genetic. It's a lack of oxygen injury at birth. So therefore, we could have able-bodied kids. And so that leads me to my next question, Paul. What have you taught your kids?
I actually don't have kids. I don't have kids. So I would teach them what I would teach them if I did have kids is if you believe you can achieve, there's nothing you can't do if you put in the effort. And that means the strong effort. It's not just saying it. It's actually putting in the action and going forth on it every single day. And even when things get tough, keep going forward. If this is truly something you're passionate about, you can do it. But you gotta endure those hard days where you want to give up.
And what would you say to my listeners who are going through this trying time right now in the world? I mean, this is a trying time for all of us, and this is a trying time for everyone.
What I would tell everybody is focus on what you can control and focus on what is going well in your life and not focusing on the bad, right? Because what I tell my clients in the morning before you turn on the television or the radio or whatever your morning routine is, take a few minutes of your time and think about what you're grateful for. And that will start your day off on the right foot. And you'll start to point out good things that are happening to your day. And it will just make your day much better than if you start to focusing on the bad things in your day, because you can focus on the bad things, right? You could be driving to work and you get a flat tire and go, oh, just my luck. That would happen to me. Bad luck always happens to me. Well, bad luck happens to you because you're focusing in on that bad luck.
So what is your morning routine?
My morning routine, before I turn on the television or do any of that in nature, I take a few minutes to think about what is going well in my life. It could be I had a good evening with a friend the night before, or the fact that I have a roof over my head, or some days when I'm having a lousy day is I'm alive and I have an opportunity to start my day. Just depends on what's going on, but I try to focus in on at least one thing good. And it just really helps to start the day off that way.
And so, if your best friend had to write a book about you, what would the title be?
If my best friend wrote a book about me, it would probably be I can't believe he just said that.
I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah.
Like, you're loud mouse like me.
Yeah.
Loud mouse like me, and most people with cerebral palsy are loud mouse. It's in our motor provider, you guys, to be loud mouth and speak our minds and literally speak our minds, because we need help. We need help daily, and some of us need more help than others. But we all of us with cerebral palsy need help. So of course we're loud mouths because that's just our modus operandi. So Paul, as we wrap this interview up, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I do have a couple questions for you, Win. First question I want to ask you is, what's your motivation to start each day?
What's my motivation to start each day?
Mm-hmm.
Just another day on planet Earth is my motivation. Um, right now, to 2020 and 2019 were t- two tough years of my life. I have lost both my parents. For those of you who don't know, I am now living with my stepmom and have aides that come in and help me during the day. And so I have no biological parents. And I realized 10 years ago that when I lost my mom, that I was going to outlive both my biological parents. And people say, oh, when you're young, you're young, you're young. And I'm only in my 30s. But so far, I've lived out both my biological parents.
And then this question is from somebody who has cerebral palsy to another person that has cerebral palsy. What is it that keeps your mind right when you start to think, why me? Why play that victim role? You know, sometimes we have that victim role, like, why did it happen to me? What keeps you strong to not go down that road?
Listening to podcasts, and believe it or not, I hate interview podcasts. Believe it or not, people think, oh, because when there's an interviewer, she loves interview podcasts. No, I I I love getting off the mic and having authentic conversations with people. Um, since this whole COVID situation, um, it's been really, really tough on me because I am a social butterfly. People know it. And I want to hug people. I want to um, at least go out all when it hits 2000 and 2021 on New Year's, they all be trapped in this house for a year, which was I it's a very daunting and scary thing to me, knowing that I have been trapped in this house for a year, not being able to go out and not being able to go see people and not being able to go out to lunch. I mean, I go to necessary appointments, but that's it. And I'm not a fearful person in the least, but that's a fear of mine that I never thought we would have in my lifetime, that I would be trapped in my own house for a year.
Wow. Wow. You such strong spirit. I couldn't imagine being strapped in my house for a year. I can tell your energy is still very, very strong, even though that you've been trapped in the house for a year. So
Well,
you're an
I've
inspiration.
been trapped in this house since March. I
Yeah.
I literally flew back from a business trip and been trapped in this house ever since. I've been itching to get on an airplane and go somewhere. I mean, I know that the airline industry is suffering along with everyone else, but I need to, as soon as the coronavirus comes up with a vaccine, I'll be one of the first ones to get one, and I am staying away from flu shots as long as I don't need them. Although this, yeah, I did get one just because of everything that's going on, and you know this, Paul, just as well as everyone else. If we get sick, we're down for the count. So due to our weakened lungs and due to everything else that comes along with cerebral palsy. So I I feel like once we get a vaccine for coronavirus, I'll be in a doctor's office with my suitcase behind me saying, "Give me that vaccine. I'm off to the airport to go travel the world." And people know that I love, absolutely love to travel. And people know that I absolutely love to travel. And my my biggest fear is that my goal of traveling will not happen again because of this stupid world pandemic that we're in. And I hate to put it lightly, but um, but all in all, this world pandemic has impacted the able-bodied, the disabled, the old, the young, the um, able-bodied who are scientists, the able-bodied who are in medical field. It's impacted everyone, including Paul and I. And my biggest wish is to get out of here. My biggest wish is to get out of here and just travel the world. Travel.
When you do get the vaccine, where's the first place you're going to travel to?
The first place I'm going to travel to. The last place I traveled to, which is the beach. Which is the beach. I mean, I have people waiting for me to come down and see them. I have people like waiting for me to finish out my journalism degree and do this. I mean, my first goal is to travel again to Hawaii, and my second goal is to travel to Florida, and where I just landed up the week before the pandemic, the week before everything shut down. And my ultimate goal is to travel to Bali, and that's my ultimate goal. But right now, when I do get that vaccine, I will be traveling to Florida for a vacation, and then I won't be necessarily telling. I'll be telling those who I need to tell that I'm going, but I won't be necessarily telling the world that I'm traveling because I need a break. I need a solid break from work. I need a solid break from the stress of the pandemic. And it's when you get locked in your house for a year, it, um, it makes it very, very, very hard on you to not be able to go out, to not be able to be able to go out, but you can't tell what's going on with all of us because we have to wear masks. I don't know where you're located, Paul, but out here in Colorado, we have to wear a mask. So you can't tell whether the person is happy, sad, angry, or what.
Yeah, I'm in California, and I'm the same thing. We're all wearing masks, but all I can tell you is don't lose the faith. You will get that vaccine, and you will be able to travel. And I hope you're picturing yourself on that beach with that sand, with that water touching your feet, while you just gaze out into the horizon of that beautiful sunset of that beach.
But
And it's going to happen for you. You'll see. You'll be there.
let's hope.
No, it will happen. You will be there. It's going to happen.
I understand that, but they better come up with with the vaccine quick because I'm gonna be one of the first ones in line with my
Good.
behind me, and I'm going to tell my doctor that I'm off to the airport um after I get this vaccine. No, I I and my family knows this. I am in the process of getting diagnosed with asthma, and
Mm.
so that's always a fun one. But my what my fan base doesn't know is what hell I had to go through because of a doctor not wanting to see me due to my asthma and cough. They thought I had COVID. I went and got a chest X-ray. The chest X-ray came back negative, and the chest X-ray, they go, that's perfectly fine. Let's send you for a COVID test just in case. I'm like, I've been trapped at home. How could I have COVID? And nope, that came back negative. So now I'm getting diagnosed with asthma. And it's so funny because um, my original doctor who said to me, "Oh, we're not allowed to see people in the clinic because of COVID." And now I'm reading all these whole stories about COVID just because of doctors don't know what's going on. Doctors are trying to work it out as much as we are. And so it's so funny because, well, it's not funny, it's actually sad that doctors think just because someone has a cough, they have COVID.
Yeah, I mean everybody has to be cautious, but the great thing is when the hot weather, because you're going to go to the beach, that's going to be good for your asthma. You'll be able to breathe nice and good there, so that'll be something to look
Oh,
forward to, right?
yes, my body does. My body does better in the heat than it does in the cold of the Rocky Mountains. So I appreciate you guys listening, and I appreciate you guys supporting those with cerebral palsy, and I appreciate all the love and support. And I am working on a huge secret project that you guys don't know about, but you guys will figure that one out, and then we'll I'll catch you guys later. And I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of Ask Win. And I would I just appreciate the support, you guys. So I will catch you guys later. Thanks. See you guys. Bye.